Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship with initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the Championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing Club Championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
One of my favourite places to grab a coffee in Dublin is Bua. It's one of these kind of COVID coffee trucks that popped up, and it's kind of developed into this bit of a social hub. I'll always find myself being drawn back to social fabric. It's just a beautiful place to go. They always have consistently good food there. Bar 1661. So I love watching them make the cocktails, shake it up, garnish it, serve it. Howth village itself is a lovely little kind of seaside town. The Gravity Bar up on the top floor of the storehouse, and it's just an amazing place, an amazing view of Dublin City. Definitely visit Temple Bar and take in what's there. My advice would be just try your best to see other parts of the city. Brian Fenton, this is my Dublin.
It has to be Tang on Abbey Street. You can't beat their flatbreads with the chickpeas and spicy chicken. It's Irish owned, great food, great people. Shoe Lane beside Tara Street train station. It was close to Trinity where I went to college. They have nice croissants, fruit scones. If you're ever looking for a quiet place to go and chat with your mates, the Snug and Chaplin's has to be the go-to. Lovely old interior. Just have to get the dart out to Vico Baths, bring the swimming togs, go for a dip, and you can get a lovely view of Killiney Bay. The Epic Museum, I think it's something nice to just figure out the history of the city. You have to go and visit a GAA or hurling or camogie game. It's the most amazing atmosphere. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. Cian O'Sullivan, this is my Dublin.
Tribeca in Ranelagh. I had to go with my family, it's a favourite of ours. Definitely recommend trying their wings. The Metro Cafe, it's a great spot for people watching, especially when it's sunny outside. An oat milk cappuccino would be my go-to. The atmosphere in Devitt is always brilliant. We've had plenty of team nights out there, always great crack. The Timber Trove Cafe in the Dublin Mountains, it's a really cosy family-run cafe. Farmley House would definitely be a must visit. They have monthly markets on which are gorgeous. I would advise you to walk around the city because most of the main attractions are close by and you can get there quicker on foot. Niamh Gannon, this is my Dublin.
Kyo's Cafe in Portobello. I really like going back just for the vibe. It's nice and chill, people are really cool. Trails Cafe in Ticknock. The coffee is really, really good. Americano, small bit of milk, and you're good to go and hit the trails. Blue Light is always a nice roaring fire. We tend to go up after All-Ireland final week. It's a really nice place to be. I'd recommend getting out to Poolbeg Lighthouse. It's a great walk out. You get a great view back of the city. If you get the chance, I'd go up to Ticknock, go up and rent a mountain bike. Trails up there are pretty cool. Bring a raincoat, a shower's never too far away. Orla Nolan, this is my Dublin.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Debs, I invited Kieran to my Debs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. It's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough supporting words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. We're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
Our roots are set in the GAA.
Ground Force probably is the absolute heart of this club, both in their ethos, the amount of work they do, and just the pure love they have for Naomh Marnoga and the GAA in general. In simplest terms, we probably couldn't function without Ground Force.
I suppose the GAA was always a bit more than hitting the ball or hitting the schlitter, you know, and it gave a great sense of community to people.
I suppose at my age, fear of retirement, worried about the unknown, what am I going into a home under my wife's feet all the time or something like that, and then we just got this men's initiative started off. We feel that we're giving something back to the club that gave so much to us. We come up here on a rotary basis and line pitches, cut grass. It kind of empowers us as well if we feel valued.
We're all friends, we're all retired, we're all around the same age group. Some of us have nothing outside of our work, and Ground Force has been a big change for everybody from the mental well-being point of view. It's really, really important and really significant, and there is great camaraderie amongst the group.
So I think there's about 30 odd men in this initiative that comes up to the club and has a chat. And the coffee is important as well. We sort out the world, Dad.
Yeah. Or well, most of it.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me, just achievement and pride.
My first memory of GAA would probably have been in Crokes Park with my father. That would be in the early 1950s.
As a young lad, brought down to watch one of my brother's matches.
Playing under 10 hurling, and I say hurling, not camogie, because I played on the boys' team.
My feeling about the GAA was more a social one than a games one, because I thought it was a great way for all the kids to get to know each other.
Mum and Dad always brought us up to have each other's backs. We'd all go to each other's matches. No matter what we were doing or playing, we'd all support each other. I'm playing for the club 37 years, I think, now, but I also coach my two daughters' teams.
It's great. It really is a great feeling to have the kids down there. And now all of their friends are beginning to come from the same community and the same focus on the club, so it's a mirror of what happened to me in my childhood, I suppose.
We made more friends down the years and had more fun down the years than ever we would anywhere else.
Mum fostered that through us as well. She was chief bottle washer. She'd have jerseys upon jerseys out in the line.
3 of my offspring are married, and they met their better halves through the club.
The friends and relationships I got out of it. Looking back, that was really what the GAA was about. Community, about building relationships with people. My name is Mick Galvin.
My name is Mary Galvin.
My name is Phil Galvin, and my family roots are in St. Bridget's GAA Club.
Welcome along to Parnell Park for this Go Ahead Ireland Senior 1 hurling semi-final. It is Kilmacud Crokes against Lucan and Joe Fortune. It should be a good one.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one, Oisin. The two games today, like really good quality games ahead, I think. Like it's do or die now for the four clubs, you know, like you can forget about the group stages to know you kind of term it as nearly the autumn internationals. It's the real stuff now, like this is the real stuff. And for the first game especially, Lucan have been thereabouts the last couple of years, constantly getting to semi-finals. Can they really put that collective sense together today and drive at this Crokes team who for the last 4 years have been in county finals as well? So look, really looking forward to it.
Let's have a look at the starting 15s as they have been named by both clubs. For Kilmacud Crokes, Ronan Hayes is a go-to man. Oisin O'Rourke will hope to nail his frees, and that's a fairly steady backline in which Sheehy and McGowan providing the spine of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's for me is huge for today for Crokes is Quailon's back. I think Quailon is nearly the orchestrator of the orchestra up there. Like he's really quality in regards to bringing lads into play. I'd expect that we'll see Purcells as well. You know, I've heard that they're going really well in challenge games as well. I know that the last day that Dara got a bit of a bang, and so is he right? Is he ready to go? I'm not really sure, but I'd imagine we'll see them at some stage, if not to start.
Okay, let's have a look at the Lucan starting 15. A Lucan team who came a longer route this year, but it might actually serve them better. Last year they went straight into a semi-final. They had a long gap before the game. This year they had to go through the quarter-final, and they did get a game on the last day of the group stages, which they didn't get last year. So they are better prepped for this particular semi.
Yeah, and the big thing for me with Lucan this year, like in the last group game, they were a score or two away from going into a possible relegation game. Oisin, you know, like they were really close. It was a sense this year that like they had a 5-week wait last year, did them no good, and this year they've really when they had to do it, they just don't go away. Like, and John Bellew for me, you know, Chris has been super for them this year, but they just have been so sticky, and we're so close to going the other way this year. So I have a feeling they're going to really give it to Crokes today. Will Crokes have too much for them? Possibly, but if they can get Dowser in the form that he was for the quarter final, you know, as well, he's really impressed me. Ben Coffey's impressed me this year as well, and you know, Paul Crummy as well. He's somebody who we haven't really seen at his best this year for Lucan in championship. So if the three of those can get going, Lucan have a really big chance.
Well, the conditions much better for this game than it was for Lucan's quarter final. That was the weekend of the orange weather warning, and of course a lot of counties had to pull games. Strong benches for both.
Yeah, but look at the Crokes bench. It's incredible. Dara Purcell, Bill O'Carroll, you know, Fionn O'Callig, David Purcell, Keane O'Cossig, Brent. Like that's a serious club bench. Like you could say that maybe 4 or 5 of that bench would make nearly every other club team in Dublin, and that's the big thing for Crokes for me. And I said it last year as well before Nafina went on and got their maiden county title. Do they really know who their best 15 is, their most consistent 15? Because they have so much talent on both squads. Like there's guys that are not making their second squad that are consistent county minors. Like that's it's incredible the talent they have available. So the big thing today is if they have their best 15 on the field, I'd expect we're going to see the two Purcells. If not to start, I'd expect we're going to see them very soon. Can Lucan have that sense of what they've been for the last number of games, that sticky in your face aggression? I was watching both warm-ups there, and Lucan certainly their warm-up is far more aggressive. So let's see. I'm really looking forward to this one because I think it's going to be a humdinger.
And don't forget, later on we've got it live on Dubs TV. St Vincent's taking on Nafina. If you want to subscribe to the Dublin GA YouTube channel, you can do so, and these games will pop up automatically. Granted, we are running out of games, Joe. It's business time, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And when you get to this stage of the year, Oisin, I remember Dalo saying to me before, it doesn't matter how you win this semi-final, you have to win it, and to get to the big day in 2 weeks' time, which is going to be a huge day for Dublin hurling. Will it be the same as last year? Will it be Crokes versus Nafina again, or can Lucan and Vincent's today? You know, Lucan and Vincent's have been the proverbial semi-finalists since I was involved with Ballyboden. They've consistently got to semi-finals, can't get over that line to get to a final, and I think if either team did get to a final, you know, you wouldn't know what could happen there. But look, everybody will say that Nafina and Crokes are favourites, but I think this Lucan team, there's definitely something in them, and you know, you need 13 of their 15 at least today to have the game of their lives to try and get them over the line to a final.
Today is the day. It is Lucan against Kilmacud Crokes. Kilmacud Crokes in the purple and gold, Lucan in the green and white. If you're not a regular watcher of Dubs TV, not a regular watcher of club action in Dublin, you are welcome along. If you are a regular watcher, then thanks for staying with us. The final coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Who'll be in it? Will it be Kilmacud Crokes or Lucan? In the next game, we'll be asking, will it be St Vincent's or Nafina? Extra time and penalties if required in these games, by the way, so it has to be done today.
See Tom Gleeson obviously reffing today as well, and in the second game, Damien Burnett is doing the second game. So it's rare that we don't have we've probably got three of the best refs in the country in regards to Tom and Chris and Sean as well. So it's rare not to see Sean and Chris involved in the semi-final day. So the likelihood is, I suppose, that there's a possibility that one of them two might get the final. But big day for Damien as well.
It's more than a possibility. The pitch in absolutely wonderful condition, despite the fact that we're heading closer and closer towards winter. But it's a nice day. Temperature-wise, it's cool, but it's not freezing, and there's no real breeze to speak of, so perfect conditions for hurling.
Yeah, nice to see the crowds coming back in as well, Oisín. We've been frustrated during the group games as well, not to get the big crowds. You see down the country what they can bring, and look, the impeccable nature of our game, the reason that we all stand silent there as well for the loss of somebody as well, and that's huge in our game. But just looking at the matchups already, you can see off the ball Lucan straight away into that physical endeavour.
And Crokes straight away on the attack through O'Rian, and that's a really good start.
Yeah, the midfield for Crokes have been impressive this year. Arena's coming in every game with a couple of scores. Brian Hayes as well, so it's a great start for Crokes.
Fantastic. Killian Murray, who stepped into the gap left by Sean McClelland, who's been injured. Goes long, goes deep. Crummy battling for it there. Trying to get it up into his hand is Crummy. Ruck's so important, well, at all times of year, but especially in the winter. And Kilmacud Crokes win that particular one. And Brian Hayes lets Rollo Smith know about it.
Yeah, and you can have your big, in-your-face, aggressive warm-up as much as you want, but when it comes down to the ball being thrown in by Gleeson then as well, it's the Crokes already seem to be fired up and well ready for this.
That would be worth a look, because Rollo Smith is not a man who backs down. Eddie Gibbons, who can score from this kind of range. Gibbons giving this one plenty. It has the legs, does it have the accuracy? And it goes right between the pipes. That's brilliant.
Yeah, great score. And what you just mentioned a few minutes ago with McClelland out for Lucan, his puckouts were arrow-like, razor-like. Now, in fairness, over the last couple of games, Killian's done well, but will that be a telling tale? Because the likes of Jono and Eddie have been brilliant so far with puckouts this year.
And they've gone along with the puckouts. You can argue that one worked out, but it wasn't clean possession that they got. Here's Chris Crummy trying to get away from O'Rian. Crummy flips it outside.
He's gone again.
Harkness. That's a good score and a good response.
Yeah, good leadership by Crummy as well, because the easiest thing to do was to demand the ball, because he was away and there was a gap in front of him, but he just said to Sean, look, drive it over the bar, let's get ourselves on the scoreboard here.
Gibbons going long down the line looking for Alex Considine. Considine wins his own break, gets the shot away. Considine, will it veer off course or stay on course? No, he has it.
Great to see him back as well, Oisín. He's had a horrendous time with injury. Super player both for Crokes and for Dublin as well. And if they can keep him fit over the coming weeks, if they get over today, he'll be a huge player for club.
So much for hurling slowing down at this time of year.
You'd be watching that stuff last night on television, like 5 scores and like it's just, this is the game, like when it's played right, there's no game that'll beat it.
I agree with you. It doesn't mean other games aren't good though, Joe. Here's Fergal Whiteley down the line looking for Oisín O'Rourke. Probing ball. Hayes might get there. Hayes calls it upon himself. What a great catch that was by Hayes, and a great score by Hayes.
Jeez, they're on fire, Oisín.
They really are.
And Hayes has had a quiet campaign this year as well. Like Crummy's matched on him now at the minute. He's been quiet injury wise as well, but that's a serious start.
A long way to go. As we were saying, now is the time. Kilmacud Crokes doing it at the moment. This is a good Lucan team though, under a very good manager, and they won't give up. But that is a fantastic catch by Fergal Whiteley. He's a real warrior, isn't he? He's the kind of guy you want out there battling. He does it even when things are going against you.
Absolutely, and he'll always chip in with 3 or 4 scores. Just watch David Purcell. For me, anytime I've seen him, I've been really impressed. I did say it earlier on, he is starting in the corner, and I think he's going to be a huge player going forward for Crokes.
Crokes mentally and physically strong, feeling the benefits of working with a good sports psychologist over the last couple of years. Nafina, of course, the current champions, but it has been Crokes and Nafina who've battled over the years.
It looks like Roach is out for Crokes, and the 2 Purcells are starting because Dara's out here as well at midfield.
Ball breaks kindly for Kevin Fitzgerald. Kevin Fitzgerald goes to ground and wins the free in. Is there anything more to follow? No. Thomas Gleeson is of the liberal brand of referees. That's a compliment to him.
See Brendan Kenny inside as well. He's been given the man marking duty, and he's really in the face of the Lucan forward, and you can see Dowser as well being closely monitored. They saw the game he had the last. He was super for them the last session.
A good score, an important score. I won't say a vital score this early in the game, but important that they didn't let them get away, and Ben Coffey nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a super campaign this year. Somebody I'd imagine is going to be looked at in blue over the coming weeks and months as well, because he has been consistently good in the club games. This fella does. I call it now, but he can be a Rolls Royce Bellew as a club player. He's such a great, really heart of a lion. Like
Bellew did well to get it to McCaffrey. Now trying to battle his way out of defence is Paul Crummy. Crummy juggled it outside. Well taken there. It is Ben Coffey. Ben Coffey drops it in on top of the forward line, but there was a good lot of purple and gold there, and Brendan Kenny got it and did well to get it out to Lenihan. An unusual but good pass to Grogan. Grogan. Confident and controlled hurling by Kilmacud Crokes, and here's O'Reen looking for a second score, and he has got the second score, and the second is better than his first, which is saying something because the first wasn't bad either.
Yeah, and a reminder on the way out as well to the Lucan midfielder, like that's really good hurling. Really, they were just patient. I love this fella in the corner, like Kenny. He's a hardy bit of stuff, and he's a serious engine as well. Oisín.
Stritch bottled up by Considine, got the ball away, looking for Crummy, looking for Bellew. I beg your pardon. Crokes trying to make it stick. Crokes trying to take it out. It's Lucan who come away with it. McCaffrey flicked into the path now of Bellew. Was Bellew fouled by Lenihan? Referee says no. Purcell, good take.
This fella's dynamite.
Steps into a pocket of space. Purcell eyes up the posts.
Yep.
And gets his score. The strike was impressive. The lead up to it even better.
Yeah, every time I've seen him, he's impressed me. He just has, and he has the physical attributes as well to become bigger. But he wins his own ball. He's very, very energetic, lively, great hands, great wrists, and patient here to take the score.
Chris Crummy. Rollo Smith has a snipe. Rollo Smith. Wide. He was unlucky.
He was unlucky. Chris had made a run across him there as well. Could have easily maybe popped it off a small bit, but like Crokes looks seriously potent up front. 6-2, they haven't had maybe one wide so far, but Lucan need to make sure that any chance they have, Oisín, they have to take it.
Grogan. Kenny. Kenny goes with a long diagonal. They have giants inside that square, don't they, Crokes? Hayes tries to catch it. It doesn't come cleanly. Now it's Luke Walsh. Crummy. Under a bit of pressure, but stays cool under that pressure. Crummy stays going. Oh, that's a lovely little flick inside. Brilliant work tracking back there was Dara Purcell. But Crokes couldn't keep it in. Let's have another look at that flick.
Yeah, great tackle. Just great work rate. That's the one thing that maybe the younger brother could work on too, like that going forward, is that work rate inside. I thought the ball came out a little bit too easy, but a huge tackle by Dara there.
Kevin Fitzgerald is not going to take it. It will be Chris Crummy.
Like Lucan are playing just with one inside for those that are at home. Like there's just one, like they're very retracted out, so they haven't scored goals really. They've got 2 or 3 goals I think over the course, whereas Lucan or Crokes the last they got 5 now. But like that forward line for Crokes is so potent.
McGowan looking to pick out the runner on the far side. That was David Purcell. David Purcell gets a bit flustered. It gets away from him, and it's a line ball to Lucan. Charlie Carter managing Lucan. His own club, Young Ireland's in an intermediate final in Kilkenny next week. They'll play Lisdowney. Rolled into the path of John Bellew. Bellew pounced upon, but Bellew does well. It's a long ball into the forward line rather than a shot. Scarpering after that one is Ben Coffey. Coffey does, much to his credit, keep it in play despite the attentions of David Lucy.
Yes, hard inside. Like, there's 3 Crokes defenders, definitely 2 anyway on Ben. So like, that's something that Charlie needs to look at. That if they're going to play with that one up top, he's going to need an awful lot of help from the half forward line as well, running onto ball, because you can't expect Ben to win it and take 2 defenders on as well.
Dowling spots the run, gets it out to Colin Walsh. Colin Walsh is good for a score or 2. Unlucky there. But the wide's beginning to mount up even at this stage for Lucan.
Yeah, and to stay in it, and like, it's so important that, again, you know, Crokes look, like we said, you know, extremely efficient up front. Lucan need to be taking those chances.
Beginning to mount up, possibly the wrong term, but you know what I mean. Important shots that could have gone over that didn't go over. That falls into that bracket. Considine having a go, but just couldn't keep it on target.
Yeah, just his angle's all wrong. Like, he's gone out to the sideline there. Now, it would have been a super score if he got it off his left, but well capable of just taking the man on too. That injury that he had, like, the one thing I like about Alex is when he gets a ball, he goes straight for goal every single time. So he needs to be played closer inside.
Lenihan tries to juggle. It's picked up by Lucy. Now he leaves it behind in the heavy conditions. The pitch in good condition. It's just the time of year. Here's Grogan eyeing up, going with the long diag, running over to try and get there is Ronan Hayes. He's followed all the way by the fullback. That's Paul Rigney. And it was broken kindly for Luke Walsh, who finds John Bellew. Will it be an intercept or will Crummy take it? It's Kevin Fitzgerald. Kevin Fitzgerald couldn't keep a hold of it. And Kilmacud Crokes win the free. Conal Loreen just running straight at that Lucan defence.
Yeah, and in fairness to Fitz as well, puts the hand up. Like, it was a good ball by Bellew. He probably just a bit static, you know, didn't run towards the ball and a little bit soft like at it. But again, this is an opportunity for Oisin to put 5 in between the 2 teams. Like, you can see Kevin Fitz's head down there. Like, that somebody around him needs to tell him, like, this next ball now, you know, because he's so important. You said it earlier on before air. Like, he's a real workhorse at 11 for him, well capable of getting on ball, but just needs to move towards it rather than staying still.
Oisin O'Rourke shouldn't be an issue for him, isn't an issue for him. He sticks it over. It was a bit of an odd stat that Crokes had scored 7 and he hadn't got one. He's amended the stat now. Well, he hasn't changed the fact that there were 6 and he hadn't got one, but he's got his point now and he's off the mark. Caught in the corner there is Stritch. Stritch blocked up by Hayes. Considine comes in. Hayes still there. Stealing away with it is Chris Crummy. Good play by him again. Crummy switches it where it's 2-on-2. Kenny just making it difficult for Charlie Kerr. Now trying to pick it up is Brennan Kenny. And it's a line ball for Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, it was a good ball by Chris, diagonal, you know, favoured in the forward to some extent, probably a little bit too high, but again, like, he's so good, young Kenny. And when he doesn't win that first ball, he has the pace to get around the back again and recover. So again, a line ball for Crokes.
Lenihan gets good distance on that, finds Oisin O'Rourke. Oisin O'Rourke trying to get a bit of time and space, sees Purcell on the underlap, but Purcell couldn't get to it. Bellew.
Big ball for Dowser now.
Can Dowser get it stuck in the hand? Sheedy is following him all the way. Great play by Dowser. Elects to take the point.
Yeah,
really good play.
Great score, and it was an important one because the first ball in on him and Sheehy, like, you know, it's a big one and a bit of a reminder. Like, Dowser has had a really good club campaign and a lot of people are critical of him at times, but once he's in good form and you're inside his head, he could be an extremely good forward for Lucan and for Dublin.
A first score since the 5th minute for Lucan. Since that, Crokes have got 3. They look for another one here. It's Fergal Whiteley. Purcell. That might drop, so Considine will try and get in under it. Murray watching it all the way. It comes off the crossbar and goes over.
Yeah, young Murray did well. That's a tough ball, Oisin, you know, coming in like that, especially when you have someone 6 foot, whatever, 3 or 4 coming in on top of it as well beside you. So, in fairness, young Murray did well there. Crokes just seem to be getting the scores a little bit easier.
At the moment, anyway. Here's Stritch. Coffey. They're asking an awful lot of him because he's absolutely surrounded, but Coffey does well. Coffey does very well. Still followed. Gets the ball away. Crummy.
Like, Like when they work, it's great, but like Paul needs to know that he has to take the man on there as well, at least into contact, draw free, if not be brave on the ball too. Like he got a great score earlier on in the campaign out here on the right hand side, but you can't. Like that's just too hit and miss for shot selection.
Purcell making his way over towards Kenny, who lost it, then somehow got it to Purcell. Purcell flips it out to Lenihan. He has a wee look up, screaming for his Grogan, who was kind of lateral and inside that 65, but he went down the line to Considine, who tries to turn on it. Considine trying to shake off Stritch. Considine has Hayes with him. Considine gives it to Hayes. Hayes is like a bull, isn't he? Look at him go. Hayes still going.
Many steps to Oisin. Like he's taken a fair few there.
Hayes looking for the
Great
run of
ball.
Fergal Whiteley. Whiteley will gather this one. Will he go for goal or just stick a point? Whiteley
Wide. He got it.
took his point in the end.
And you're right, he's efficient when he gets in there as well. I think Ronan took a lot of steps there, or he was fouled. That's one of the two. I know he's looking to Tom Gleeson there as well, but it's good. Like, it's entertaining. What's surprising for me is how standoffish at the moment Lucan are. Lucan are at their best when they're in your face, man on man, and there seems to be 2 or 3 in the middle of the field for Crokes every single time. Like you can see here, like just 2 players for Crokes free all the time in the middle.
And we thought that wouldn't be the case for Lucan, because they went that quarter-final route. It kind of cost them not having that game last year. But they're not done yet. It's still early in this match. Jogging onto it is McCaffrey. They didn't start particularly well in the quarter-final either, it has to be said. And they've won a free in here.
Yeah, and they won't go away. Like we know that we've said it a number of times this year that they won't go away. They're such a spirited group and a spirited bunch. But you don't want Crokes going 7-8 points up with the type of forwards that they have, and with the forwards that have to come in.
Down injured at the moment, Matt McCaffrey. Hopefully he'll be okay, and it maybe isn't the worst thing for Lucan to just stop the play, draw breath, and stall Crokes just a little bit.
Yeah, there was one of the first slitters that was there was driven out to the back of Crave, but it's no harm to break the monotony of the play, because it is. What's impressed me about Crokes today is that they're really up for the physical side of things. Even off the ball, they're really in the face of the Lucan players. So it'll be interesting to see. This is a big free as well. It's close in, but like, you need to be taking these opportunities. And we were here one day where small little opportunities like this were not taken.
Coffey guides it over. 5 between them. Off camera you can see Brian Hayes and Rollo Smith kind of not quite bear hugging each other, but they're not giving each other too much space. Gibbons. It might still work out for Crokes. There's a scramble after this one. In fairness to him, out in front and reacting well is Stritch. Crummy.
That's smart.
Finds his brother.
No.
Sorry, that's Kevin Fitzgerald.
Unless we don't know something, but Fitz, that's a couple of balls he's dropped, like, and he just seems a little bit nervy. He was taken off early the last. I know he was annoyed, and that's twice now he's been caught, and you can see the head down again. Like, it wasn't a bad ball by Chris, but it needs to go into Fitz's hand, and he needs to take he needs to get the next ball, or else I'd say Charlie, because the last day he did take him out early.
Yeah, Charlie Carter doesn't mess around on the line, does he? I wonder where he learned that.
Yeah, it's a big game for Charlie as well, like, to try and get Lucan, because Lucan haven't got to that final. He's been there a couple of years now too, and like, there's a lot of talent in that Lucan team. So I'm sure that himself, like, he realises that this is a huge game for them as a club.
Oisin O'Rourke looking for a second score, and he's got it. They both come from frees.
Oisin's been excellent for so long for Crokes. As a young player coming through, people say, oh, he's too small, but geez, he's a bucket of talent, and his frees all the time are top notch.
Smith. Good stick pass, Rigney. It's always such a lazy assumption. A slip might cost them. No, they get a bit of luck that he had a bit of backup, and that backup was from Chris Crummy. And so you'd want backing you up, isn't it? Here's Paul Crummy. Hangs it up in the sky, but it's 4-on-2 in favour of Crokes. 5 if you count the goalkeeper. Dowling does his best to get to it, but he couldn't quite do so. Did flick it down into the path of Harkness, but again, he's surrounded. The Lucan forwards battling. It's Coffey. Didn't catch it right, and it bounces back. The goalkeeper, it was basically a pass back. Lenihan has to be very careful here. He's hunted down. Going after him was Kevin Fitzgerald. He's still working hard, Kevin Fitzgerald. Brendan Kenny. Getting out in front very well was Luke Walsh. Walsh, hockey style, over to Cathal Stritch. Batted away by Lenihan into the path of Oisin O'Rourke.
It's in the back.
And it's a free into Lucan. for that swipe.
There's probably 2 or 3 there rushing as well. That both sides were calling for. What's really disappointing for me at the minute is it's like Paul Crummy seems to be a little bit devoid of confidence, because when he wins a ball, he's a big boy. He's well able to take the man on, and he just seems to be hitting that ball all the time. Now, is there a little bit of an injury concern there? He doesn't seem to be taking the man on at all. And somebody of his athleticism as well, and playing for Dublin too, like he's well capable of taking on a defender and at least drawing a free, if not getting in on goal.
Coffey looking for his 3rd score, all from frees. And he hasn't got it, unfortunately.
That's what I spoke about the last one. I know people probably think I was harsh, but there's a couple of times where Ben is, when he misses one like that, it can affect the game too. Rollo's doing a big job on Hayes in around the middle. He hasn't really got on much ball yet, and they're not really seeing much of Smith then as well, because he's caught up with him.
Sheedy, who has county hurling and football medals with Kilmacud Crokes, got caught in possession there, stealing away is Chris Crummy. Crummy trying to get away from O'Rourke. Gets it to Fitzgerald. It was fired at Fitzgerald. You wouldn't blame him for not taking that one. Hasn't given up on it as always, Kevin Fitzgerald. Line ball to Lucan.
Like, you can see by Chris there as well, like he's trying to drive the lads on around him. Like, he realises we can't let these get like 7-8 points ahead and hope it's going to be the same as the last couple of games, and like he's a big leader for that Lucan team. You can see him talking to some of the younger players all the time.
Ben Coffey. That was a good pass. Swept up by Lucy. Crokes are on top in the back line, aren't they?
They are. Again, like, you could argue, was that like Tom is really up with the play, but like, was it a push maybe?
Hayes missed that one. Bellew collects it. Stritch fumbles but regathers. Back to Bellew. Bellew, who's done it in blue, gets it inside. Colin Walsh. Walsh trying to get away from Whiteley. That's not easy to do. Whiteley takes a pounce there. The shot away. It's going to drop inside the square. It's more of a dropper than a shot. But Gibbons was just cool as a breeze. Aiming it down the line for Hayes. It's always a good option for a goalkeeper. Hayes has a goal. Considine will follow this one in just in case, but it goes wide.
Strike is not good enough. Ronan know that himself. He's a man of his ability. He should be striking off his left better than that, 40 yards out. But again, when you've Considine inside, he's very, very dangerous. Even a small mistake by a keeper rushing can cause a goal there.
Up in the air from Harkness. Regathers well. Colin Walsh. Another dipping ball. I do wonder, is that a shot or a pass? If it's a pass, it was a good one. He's trying to gather it here. Is Dowling. Dowling to 65.
You got a lot of hardship there as well on the way in. Like, again, young Kenny did really, really well, but Dowser went for it when he was in there. If he had caught it the first time, there was a big chance though, and he couldn't get rid of Kenny. And to score from that angle with a keeper, and I think it was young McGowan came across and blocked the ball as well.
Kenny in a fine tradition of sticky cornerbacks from Kilmacud Crokes.
He's a serious player, serious future ahead of him as well. Wants to keep him injury free. He has everything. He's real aggressive, and he has that massive burst of pace. So,
yeah, Dowling did well there. I think he knew as well. You know what? I'll take the chance because it'll probably be blocked or saved for a 65 anyway. He did really well there, Kieran Downing.
This is a big one, Oisin here now. He's missed the last one from a similar kind of, similar distance. He needs to nail this. He also doesn't need a line. Yeah.
Coffey sends it flying. And the destination is between the posts.
Well done, Ben, because that took a bit of character too. It is scrappy at times. Like, it's not real. It's not real intense yet, and we mightn't see that till the second half. But when Crokes get the ball, they look dangerous.
7 minutes between Lucan's last 2 scores, and that is an excellent score from Whiteley, his second.
Yeah, and Fergal's capable of that. Coming onto ball, and again, the difference between that now and maybe Hayes' last strike, it's huge. And he's consistently good at his shooting.
And that was a 5-minute gap between Oisin O'Rourke's last score for Kilmacud Crokes, which was Crokes' last score, and Whiteley's next, or Crokes' next, but you know what I mean. In the context of the game, that was a huge gap for Crokes.
Take that in your hand, don't you?
Cian McGowan tries to slip it off. O'Reen couldn't take it. It was fired at him again. It's a free in for Lucan Sarsfields.
Yeah, and look, this is a big part of the half now. You're 22 minutes in, into a semi-final. You have 5 points on the board. Coffee has a chance here to bring it up to 6. A big couple of minutes here now for Lucan, because if they can keep it within 2 or 3 before half time, gives themselves every single chance. And Crokes just seemed to have switched off a little bit. Like, they were so efficient in that first 7 or 8 minutes, and then just dropped the tempo a small bit. Haven't really seen much of Quill on, in regards to, again, did they leave him out? Is that where the second player is coming from, where Purcell came in? Because we haven't seen him on ball at all. Again, Sheehy inside has done a good job on Dowser. We haven't seen Hayes in the middle of the field at all, like, really.
Coffee. That's a good one to get. Hayes is the target. Hayes takes it. Now what can he do with it? Goes back to Lenihan. I don't think that's what he meant to do, and that's a fumble by Crokes, a mistake by Crokes. And Lucan will be pleased with the fact that they're getting in their faces and forcing them into that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just a strange one. And again, going back to Ronan's there, like, to go back, like, a huge thing for me is, like, you're forward, win your own ball and take your man on. Like, this thing of going back 30-40 yards with the ball, unless there's somebody free, a significant free, then go yourself and be brave to go at it yourself.
Dowling, he's always brave. Dowling.
No, he brought it to the left.
Didn't catch it right. Lucan haven't put 2 scores back to back in this game together yet.
Yeah, that's a big stat, Hush. That and that's what they need. They needed the first half where they were going to be in your face, and their shooting efficiency needed to be good. But they've had 4 or 5s, wides that they on another day could have got.
What a surge by Kenny. Gets it out on the run now. It's Brian Hayes. Brian Hayes still going. Brian Hayes flips inside to O'Reen. Great save. Goalkeeper came out and made the block. The advantage was being played. It will be a point for Crokes, but it could have been far worse for Lucan.
Yeah, good refereeing by Tom as well. Allowed the advantage coming through. That was the first time we've seen Hayes for the whole game. Great ball in, but geez, that's brave. Like, in, right on the ball. And it gives, Crokes get the free, but a good refereeing by Gleeson there as well, in fairness, allowed the advantage and that little pop pass which could have caused a goal for Crokes.
Was it Murray or Rigney who actually got the touch away on it there from the Lucan point of view?
I think it was Rigney. I think Murray was coming, but I think it was Rigney that got the flick away.
Yeah, really good defending by the Lucan Sarsfields fullback. This game happens so quickly, sometimes you have to watch it back in slow-mo. O'Rourke sticks it over. 3 for him. 12 for Crokes.
Yeah, back to a 6-point game now again.
But even the fact that they defended that well, the fact that Rigney got that block in, that's still a boost for Lucan.
But look, that's the DNA of those lads. From lads that are not even playing, the likes of Johnny McCaffrey and those lads who've played for Lucan over the years. That's in their DNA. But up front, they need to be more efficient. There needs to be more.
2 men went for the 1 ball there. Bad mistake. Hops away from O'Rourke, trying to get it up now as Cahill Stritch, but O'Rourke does really well. O'Rourke, will he go for it or go for the pass? It's into an area where it's 2-on-2. It falls for Hayes, just wouldn't quite kind of get just set up for him now. It's O'Rourke. O'Rourke pops it off. The shot coming from Considine. It was Whiteley who got it to Considine, I beg your pardon, and Considine puts it over.
Yeah, good score. And it all came from O'Rourke's vision, really. You've these, coaches and managers say, oh, he's too small and lads are too small. To me, it's about how you're able to hurl, how you're able to play, and he was well able physically for the tackle that came with it, and then the vision to come across. Probably could have came to Ronan first, but they still ended up getting a score from it.
Harkness swatting it down the line, looking for Paul Crummy. Paul Crummy up against Cian McGowan. Paul Crummy.
That's better. Take him on. You're well able to have the run. This thing of standing and hitting the ball over your shoulder, Paul is well capable of doing that, and that's his first score now, and he's well able to do that all the time.
Gibbons goes long. O'Rourke gets up to it, but just can't soak it up. Line ball for Lucan Sarsfields. Good battling by Cahill Stritch.
Dara Purcell doesn't look himself. He hasn't really been on apart from one ball he was on. The brother, like I said earlier, he really impresses me. He got 1 great score. We haven't seen him. They've really shackled him now. Luke Walsh is a really sticky man marker, so he won't get it easy from him. But Dara just doesn't look himself there.
Sticky is the word of the day, isn't it? O'Ryan, despite the fact that he was surrounded by half a Lucan, got it off to Lenihan. Lenihan drops it towards the goals, but wide.
There's a change. Is it the same as the last day? I feel for Kevin Fitz. If it is, maybe it's not.
Is it Colin Walsh? Stritch is heading off. and he's being replaced by Jack Behan. I can understand what they're doing there. Jack Behan would have a couple of inches height-wise on Stritch, so maybe they feel they need to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, but Hayes hasn't exactly set the world alight either to mean him come out. Maybe it's going in on Purcell, who's away now.
Considine to Whiteley. Whiteley to O'Rourke. 2 old stagers for Kilmacud Crokes. And that one goes wide. I do feel bad for Stritch because he was battling hard. He was, you know. Jack Behan fumbles the first ball. That can happen when you just arrive into a game of this intensity.
Just, he's taking a lot of steps there. You know, Tom is right. He's right. 100%. Like that's the endeavour of coming in and, you know, trying to impress and go up the field. But there was a couple of options there for him to just pop the ball off. It'll be interesting to see, you know, if they brought him in to man mark Hayes, which it looks like. You're right. Again,
what's rare is beautiful. 2 minutes to half time. Kilmacud Crokes by 6. In a couple of seconds' time, Oisin O'Rourke will hope it's by 7. He'll do more than hope, he'll make it happen. Good score by Oisin O'Rourke.
Good score by Oisin, and again it brings them back out to 7. You know, Lucan needs something now before half time, Oisin.
They certainly do. Even a couple of points. They don't need to panic or anything yet. There's a long way to go. Extra time if required today, by the way. Jack Behan. That was a good ball, good pass. Now what can they do with the possession? It's a hanging in the air. Luke Walsh got onto it and he did really well, but then Colin Walsh couldn't hang on to it. Scramble for possession. Great work. Fantastic stuff by Kevin Fitzgerald. Got it off to Luke Walsh. Colin Walsh.
Crummy's away, look.
Colin Walsh, great ball inside. Here is Crummy. Crummy trying to get inside. Crummy still going. Crummy is fouled. Free in. Good play by Crummy. Good play by Lucan.
Yeah, and it's one thing for Lucan to look at. If you look at, and again, if you clip that last couple of minutes, the amount of ball that's hit to hand and that's taken by hurl, you know, it takes that second away, even from the goalkeeper's point of view, out to the 2 or the 5 or 7. There's just times where I think Lucan could take that ball a little bit more in hand and just have that forward step, because to get to that next level, you know, there's no room for that element of just, you know, putting that hurl to ball. It has to be ball to hand.
Coffee.
Yeah,
puts it over. Still only 6 between them.
Yeah, there's only 6. Like Kilmacud are doing what they have to do. It is a little bit scrappy. It's a little bit, you know, scores are a lot easier, I thought, for Crokes to get than I thought they would be. That's a good turnover by Rollo.
Brian Hayes tries to win it back, but he doesn't. Pouncing on that is Paul Crummy. Paul Crummy with the ears back, gets it outside. Will it fall kindly for Coffee? Oh, they're unlucky.
But you know, Oisin, isn't it mad when a forward runs at what the problems that it causes that Crokes defence? And Paul ran that time, and it just went just an inch maybe too far. Crummy capable of that, like, you know, it needed to go to his hand again, but even at that, it was so close, and that would have given them some lift now.
That would have given them a massive boost, and it would have swung the momentum. But at the break, it's a 6-point gap. What are you making of it?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Lucan haven't been more aggressive. You know, they build themselves, in my opinion, on the fact that they are that aggressive, in your face kind of team. Up front, they've had 3 or 4 poor enough wides. Like, even look at the Crokes body language walking off the field. They look a little bit leggy, a little bit tired, and you know, and they're getting through it. Like, they're very, very good. They're a serious club team with so much talent. I don't think young Darragh Purcell is right. To me, he looks like he's not in the game at all, really, and he looks a bit, I don't know, just off himself up front. Hayes, loads of ability, you know, has showed a couple of flashes. Considine the same, the younger Purcell the same. But look, I think we'll see more in the second half. I think at the moment, look, it's the first half. Crokes are 6 points up. That's where you'd want to be if we're going into the dressing room. If I was Charlie Carter, I'd be going in to say to Lucan lads, like, it's easy to talk about this now for the last 10 months training. Like, do you really want this or not? Or, you know, if you're wanting it, your forwards need to win their own ball and take the man on and test that Kilmacud full back line.
Half time, Kilmacud Crokes 14 points, Lucan Sarsfields 8 points. It is the Go Ahead Ireland Senior 1 Hurling Championship semi-final in Dublin today. The first of 2 later on, St Vincent's taking on Nafina. They're both end on day matches. We'll be back at the second half. Stay with us.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship and initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the Championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing Club Championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
One of my favourite places to grab a coffee in Dublin is Bua. It's one of these kind of COVID coffee trucks that popped up, and it's kind of developed into this bit of a social hub. I'll always find myself being drawn back to social fabric. It's just a beautiful place to go. They always have consistently good food there. Bar 1661. So I love watching them make the cocktails, shake it up, garnish it, serve it. Hoth village itself is a lovely little kind of seaside town. The Gravity Bar up on the top floor of the storehouse, and it's just an amazing place, an amazing view of Dublin City. Definitely visit Temple Bar and take in what's there. My advice would be to try your best to see other parts of the city. Brian Fenton, this is my Dublin.
It has to be Tang on Abbey Street. You can't beat their flatbreads with the chickpeas and spicy chicken. It's Irish owned, great food, great people. Shoe Lane, beside Tara Street train station. It was close to Trinity where I went to college. They have nice croissants, fruit scones. If you're ever looking for a quiet place to go and chat with your mates, the Snug and Chaplin's has to be the go-to. Lovely old interior. Just have to get the dart out to Vico Baths, bring the swimming togs, go for a dip, and you get a lovely view of Killiney Bay. The Epic Museum, I think it's something nice to just figure out the history of the city. You have to go and visit. It's the most amazing atmosphere. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. Cian O'Sullivan, this is my Dublin.
Tribeca in Ranelagh. I had to go with my family. It's a favourite of ours. Definitely recommend trying their wings. The Metro Cafe, it's a great spot for people watching, especially when it's sunny outside. An oat milk cappuccino would be my go-to. The atmosphere in Devitt is always brilliant. We've had plenty of team nights out there, always great crack. The Timber Trove Cafe in the Dublin Mountains, it's a really cosy family-run cafe. Family House would definitely be a must visit. They have monthly markets on which are gorgeous. I would advise you to walk around the city because most of the main attractions are close by and you can get there quicker on foot. Niamh Gannon, this is my Dublin.
Kyo's Cafe in Portobello. I really like going back just for the vibe. It's nice and chill. People are really cool. Trails Cafe in Ticknock. The coffee is really, really good. Americano, small bit of milk, and you're good to go and hit the trails. Blue light is always a nice roaring fire. We tend to go up after All-Ireland final week. It's a really nice place to be. I'd recommend getting out to Poolbeg Lighthouse. It's a great walk out. You get a great view back of the city. If you get the chance, I'd go up to Ticknock, go up and rent a mountain bike. Trails up there are pretty cool. Bring a raincoat, a shower's never too far away. Orla Nolan, this is my Dublin.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Debs, I invited Kieran to my Debs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin, but it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough to put in words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. And we're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
our roots are set in the GAA.
Ground Force probably is the absolute heart of this club, both in their ethos, the amount of work they do, and just the pure love they have for Naomh Marnoga and the GAA in general. In simplest terms, we probably couldn't function without Ground Force.
I suppose the GAA was always a bit more than hitting the ball or hitting a schlitter, you know, and it gave a great sense of community to people.
I suppose at my age, fear of retirement, worried about the unknown, what am I going into a home under my wife's feet all the time or something like that, and then we just got this men's initiative started off. We feel that we're giving something back to the club that gave so much to us. We come up here on a rotary basis and line pitches, cut grass. It kind of empowers us as well if we feel valued.
We're all friends, we're all retired, we're all around the same age group. Some of us have nothing outside of our work, and Ground Force has been a big change for everybody from a mental well-being point of view. It's really, really important and really significant, and there is great camaraderie amongst the group.
So I think there's about 30 odd men in this initiative that comes up to the club and has a chat. And the coffee is important as well. We sort out the world, Dad.
Yeah. Or well, most of it.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me, just achievement and pride.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at Stay.
Second half underway, Crokes by 6. Joe, what's your prediction?
I think a couple of reality home truths now at half time for Lucan and get themselves back in. I think they're going to need a goal, Oisín, to be honest with you, and it'll be interesting to see if Crokes made any changes, because I didn't think Dara was in it in the first half at all. I didn't think he looked right, or I didn't think he looked fit, and whereas Oisín had been really kind of pulling the strings for Crokes. So I expect Lucan to really come at them here now for the first 10 at least.
Ball just skips away from the intended target, David Purcell. Purcell now onto it, trying to shake off the defender. Purcell, first score of the second half, and it's a good one.
Yeah, I said it earlier. He got one of the first ones in the first half too. Looked really, really impressive. I think he has an awful lot of attributes to make it. You know, if he can increase the work rate and energy, he really is a classy player.
Battling for it there, Oisín O'Rourke. Michael Roach, who came on at half time. Conn Loreen battling for it. He got the first score of the game. It's a really good play by
tackle.
Roach. It's what he brings you, but Lucan have turned it over, much to their credit. Matt McCaffrey. It's easily intercepted. Cian McGowan. Cian McGowan, a risky one. Harkness gets in the way of it. Grogan tries to take it. Grogan is fouled, but you don't agree, and I don't think Lucan do either. Let's have another look.
He was away, like, you know. Did he clip it? Did he clip the? Look, Tom was up right beside it. He obviously saw him clip the boot or clip the hand, but I thought the Lucan player was away there.
Bit of relief for Kilmacud Crokes. Eddie Gibbons. This is more than scoreable for him. It's travelling. And it's accurate.
Yeah, like, you know, my opinion on that at times, you'd wonder why but when it works, like, that's two really, really good ones from Eddie. And again, like, if you're Lucan, you want to say, like, you don't need them getting the first couple of scores.
Scarping after this, Kevin Fitzgerald. Always a battler for his team. Flips it off. Good ball to Charlie Kerr. Charlie Kerr looking outside for Harkness. Harkness pins the ears back. Harkness looking for Colin Walsh. He's found him. Walsh goes to ground.
That's a penalty.
Penalty.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. And Tom is bang on the money there. And the funny thing is, Oisín, and I know I keep saying it, I know I'm hitting on the arm when I'm saying it, but look what it does when you run out of defence.
Yep.
This thing of popping the ball around and hitting the ball over your shoulder. Take the man on, you know, take the hit. Be brave. Go at it. Yeah, definitely 100%. Lucy came across him, and it's a big one now. It's a big penalty for Ben Coffey. Do you know, it's a real sign that this is going to be a big test of character now.
Will an 8-point lead become a 5-point deficit? Or an 8-point gap? Coffey. Gibbons stops it. Harkness goes after the rebound. Lenihan is there, gets over it. There's a scramble for the possession. The ball disappearing from our view, despite the fact that they're all now illuminous. Yeah, he just has to throw this one in. Clash
great
ball.
save by Gibbons. You know, and it's a big moment because, you know, he has to nail this. And in fairness, Eddie got down to his right hand side really, really well, and Lucan needed it.
Behind that end, by the way, is the FM 104 OB truck. This week confirmed FM 104 media partners to Dublin GA. Kilmacud Crokes looking for the free out, not getting it. Whiteley tries to keep it in play, doesn't manage to do so.
Again, good battling by Lucan there. Tom was caught behind the group, but, you know, the ball is just thrown it over the line. Lucan need a score now. If they could get a goal, it would lift the spirit again, because that will take the energy out of Ben.
Fitzgerald finds his man somehow. Lenihan pushes him off at Harkness. Maybe thinks he was fouled, well, maybe he doesn't, because he didn't protest it too hard. Oisín O'Rourke stepping into trouble. And Oisín O'Rourke over carries too many steps, and it's a free in.
Yeah, and I think Tom is right. In fairness, when he turns back in, is he looking like... Again, like, for me, the character thing here is huge. Like, Lucan now, like, you're training for 8, 9, 10 months as a club to get to a county semi-final. Like, go at it now, and every time they go at it to get something out of it. Probably a little bit harsh on Oisín there. Tom won't get a Christmas card from the O'Rourke family anyway, but big free now again from Young Coffey, and an opportunity and a chance to bring it back to 7.
Coffey sticks it over.
But you made a great stat in the first half there as well. The next one now was important. Yep. The next 1 or 2 are important, that they get themselves back into it.
And they have yet to get back-to-back scores in this game. Can they change that stat? Crokes will try and do something about it. O'Rourke battling for it, as is Roach. Roach thought he might take it on himself. No, goes to Purcell. Purcell looking for a second score, showing some good footwork and winning the free. He might need it. Crokes don't need it. Crokes get the score through Purcell, and what a score it was as well.
He's an excellent player, Rush. I know they've loads of young lads out there that are coming through at the minute, but he's a really, really good player. And in fairness, Bellew went strong in the year, but Purcell has loads of ability and strength and character as well to it.
And it was this to prove the point that you were making, that Lucan needed a run of scores, or 2 or 3 together. They got the one, and then Crokes got the next one, and Crokes have got 3, and Lucan have got 1 in the second half.
Yeah, and I think just looking at the changes from half time, I think Dara is gone. He didn't look right in the first half. He got a big knock, I heard, against Bridges the last day, and he didn't seem right to start. But they've brought in young Michael Roach now, and I know you're a fan of his as well. He's consistent with scores in games.
Coffey. Wide.
Yeah, I feel for Ben. That's hard. We've been there before. When you miss a penalty, the head is down a small bit, and he needed that free to go over. And he missed one in the first half too. But look, he's a young player, and he learned from the likes of today. But it's that mental toughness that comes into a semi-final. It's so important. I was lucky with the likes of Paul Ryan and that it just never fazed them.
Yeah, you the likes of Conal Keeney as well. Of course, he's just as Jurgen Klopp would say, a mentality monster.
Yeah, but those older players drive the younger players on, and they set the standard. But for the likes of Ben, Chris, you can see Chris all the time. In fairness to him, he's talking to the younger players. That's a big.
Well, play continues. As we said in the first half, Gleeson, the liberal sort of referee. Colin Walsh gets it back to Matt McCaffrey. McCaffrey winds up, has a go, and that's going to drag wide.
Yeah, the crowd getting involved over there as well, and it's right beside the Lucan bench. And Lucan needed that one to go over. The match is just probably fallen to the side a small bit on his right hand side.
Eddie Gibbons going long. Roach couldn't make it stick. Harkness sandwich. Roach steals away. He spots Hayes.
Super ball.
Hayes, good take. Considine with him. Hayes might do it all himself. Considine making space. He goes the other way. It's O'Rian.
Yep.
It's a goal.
Brilliant.
And maybe, just maybe, Crokes into the final.
And you see Hayes then again, what did he do? Wins the ball, takes the man on. It's an easy game, and a really good run, and a reminder on the way out as well from young O'Rian to McCaffrey. It's the funny thing is, we overcomplicate the great game that we have. The forwards are there, win your own ball, take the man on.
11 between them. In hurling, you never know, but it is looking very good for Kilmacud Crokes.
Lucan won't go away, Ocean. We've seen that. Crokes probably should have put Lucan away in the group stages and didn't, and that heart and determination that's in Lucan. But set 9 scores in nearly 40 minutes hurling, that's not at the level that it needs to be for a semi-final.
A roll ball into the path of Roach, who's made a difference. Breaks, but not kindly for Constantine. Roach hasn't given up on it, neither of Lucan. And they have got the possession, and stealing away and getting away is Chris Crummy. Crummy gets it down the line. Paul Crummy. Chris makes the run. Paul continues inside to Colin Walsh. Colin Walsh goes long. Dowling's the only one in there, but he is a good man to win ball. He is a good man to snipe scores if given the right kind of ball. And he just couldn't get the shot away, Coffey. Sheedy. Nice taken turn by O'Rourke. O'Rourke switches it, running after it is Purcell.
He has it now too.
Purcell has the possession. He's getting away. It's open country. Purcell looks across. Considine is there. Hayes joining in. Still Purcell goes. Finds Michael Roach. Roach.
Oh, what a finish. And that all came from Purcell. Look at the body language now as well. I was going to give out about Purcell saying, geez, will you put it over the bar you're whatever, but he had that endeavour and vigour to go at it and pops the ball out, and that's game, set and match, Oisin.
2 goals in 3 minutes. 1 from O'Rian, 1 from Roach. Crokes looking very, very good for a spot in the final now. Talk about impact, so Roach came in at the break and...
Yeah, look, we both knew. I think people at home will see it as well. Dara Purcell is one of the best young players that Crokes have coming through. He wasn't himself, should he, and was he able to start? He didn't look right, and Roach now has added that bit of vigour in front. You can see Tom just calling here as well. It looks like young Walsh is in trouble.
In the lead up to that goal, Luke Walsh did go to ground. Was there any suspicion of anything there? Can Lucan consider themselves unlucky there?
No, him and young Purcell went for a ball. Did Purcell have him or hold him? I'm not really sure.
If you don't get a look at it now, we'll have a look at it later. We will have a look at it now.
No, I don't think there was anything there, but he looked like he really hurt himself.
While you're looking at that, I'm looking at Cian McGowan heading off and Cian O'Cossack coming in.
Yeah, Cian O'Cossack, one of the young players. Cian McGowan has done enough today now as well. Cian's a fine player at 6, and they're looking at now another 20 minutes out, but it would be serious for Lucan to come back here.
Here's Charlie Kerr. Getting the shot away. Gibbons just escorting it wide. Gibbons looking for Hayes. Hayes catching him, flipping it off. Great flip to Brian Hayes. The Hayes brothers combining and getting a great score.
But Ronan Hayes, I just think sometimes is it a confidence thing? I don't know what it is, but when he's up, then he's up, and to to jump like that, win your own ball, pop the ball off the brine, and a great score from the sideline.
2-2 without reply for Kilmacud Crokes. Kevin Fitzgerald heads off. Didn't quite catch who came in, but I'm sure we will spot it. Fumbled by Paul Rigney, but has the time and space to make it up. Rigney with Considine blocking him down, and he got something on that. Colin Walsh can't keep it under control, and O'Rian steals away. O'Rian back to Walsh. Good piece of play by Rollo Smith. He didn't give up on that one. Here's Crummy. It's risky. Lenihan bats it down. O'Cosig. Such a good take by O'Cosig. O'Rian. Again, good play by Smith. Kind of just flicked it back beautifully to Crummy. Crummy directing the traffic, firing it over into the corner, searching for this Charlie Kerr. Kenny with him as always. Kenny, who's done well today, but sometimes the forward only needs to get lucky once, and Charlie Kerr wins the free. Well, he wins the advantage. Now the free will come.
Yeah, Chris, the first ball, he just didn't strike it right, and again, he gives the forward every chance to win it just out on the left, and you can see the body language is down there now as well. And look, it's the thing about it is, Oisín, like you're nearly halfway into the second half. Lucan will realise just their forwards, like they had 3 or 4 really poor wides in the first half, and the penalty was a big moment. And I like young Ben Coffey. I think he's a really fine player, but if he had got that, even the goal before half time, you know, that chance and opportunity would have really lifted it for the second half. But look, Lucan won't. He'll keep going and going and going, but Crokes look impressive when they put the foot on the pedal.
Coffey gets the free. They've been few and far between. Their first score in about 9 minutes. Kenny taking off. Murray. Sorry, I wasn't reacting to anything I saw on the pitch there. Still struggling from that run up the pitch I had at half time.
And the stairs didn't help either.
No. Thankfully there's no stairs on the pitch, although I'm slow there as well. Crummy goes back outside. Behan. They need goals. Too much on that one. Gibbons is fouled, free out.
He is, yeah, and did really well there, safe hands, and just kind of drew that free coming out. You'd question now whether Charlie's even thinking, you know, would you consider, like, you have so many defenders in Lucan, would you consider putting Chris up front? You know, because if not, you're facing into November, December, January before you even go back to club training again. And like, these lads put a massive amount in. Oisín, they're knocking on the door for so long in semi-finals, Lucan are, and just can't seem to find that extra percentage to get them into a final.
Ronan Hayes has gone off. Whether or not that's a blood sub, I don't know. He has been replaced by Ronan Costello for now. Costello has gone into the corner forward position, and his first act is to commit a foul. Good player though, Ronan Costello. He can't strike it. Kind of sums up Lucan's day, doesn't it? I really don't mean that to be disrespectful. It just hasn't happened for them.
It just hasn't happened today, and that days like that can happen. We've both been there. John Bellew's been very quiet. Like, in fairness, the Crokes did their homework as well. You know, put Oisín at 11,
and that should be a penalty. It was a foul inside the square. What's Tom going to indicate? They have missed a penalty. Of course, they've had one saved. It's a free rather than a penalty.
Was it inside? Yeah, you're right.
I wonder, will Coffey go for it here?
Well, you have to. Yeah. Going back to what we said about Bellew, like, you know, they've been smart. They put, you know, they've Oisín in around there. Keep running them all the time. Don't allow him to sit, because he was super in the last couple of games. Coffey has to go for this now.
15 minutes to go. They need goals. Coffey. Good save. Very good save. Gibbons, and this is weird to say considering how dominant his team have been. He's been one of the best players for Crokes today so far.
He has. He's a fine keeper, Oisín, you know, and he's probably knocking on the door of that, definitely of that number 1 jersey for Dublin too. You know, himself and Sean have a great battle there for it, and Sean Brennan has had it for the last couple of years. But he's a fine goalkeeper, great puckouts, and he's definitely somebody for the future.
Lucan making another change coming in. Liam Garrigan heading off. It looks on the far side. Charlie Kerr, a good hurler. Charlie. Didn't happen from today, and that does happen to every player at every level. Coffey gets the free, and that is the first time in the game that Lucan have put back-to-back scores together. Coffee with 2 frees. O'Ryan chasing it down. Matt McCaffrey trying to do his best. Considine battling away. Lucan try and run it out. And that's a good surging run by Bellew.
What?
Is he saying he caught it 3 times?
No, he slap the hurl down there, does it?
And the life and intensity has been sucked out of this one. But when you think about it, when Lucan got that penalty, had they scored it, they would have brought it back to 5 points.
Yeah, I think the one before half-time was nearly even more significant, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Goal chance pretty much on the stroke of half-time, unfortunately for Coffey.
That's just a lovely strike of a ball.
Yeah, that's beautiful by Oisin O'Rourke. And he's standing right under us, he can probably hear us.
It's just the way he hits it as well. He's really, really top quality. He's been a super player for Crokes for such a long time now.
One of the best players in the county. This man's not bad either. Here's Paul Crummy. It's going to drop. Sometimes that can work out. Garrigan was battling for it there. Over it now, David Lucy. Nice turn.
Those are good, though.
Dowling's still going. Dowling trying to get a shot away. Dowling gets it inside. Dowling gets the free in. He hasn't given up, has he, Dowling? He never does.
No, he's tried hard and they've marshalled him really well today. He had a brilliant quarter-final. He was super. I think he got 5 or 6 from play that day. I think what's important for him now as well is going forward that he keeps the head, because he's bucket of talent. He just needs to keep the head now and keep working hard. But Lucan will be very disappointed with their semi-final. They'll know themselves that you get here and it's so hard to get here, and then just not to really turn it on today. 12 scores in 50 minutes. It's not like them, because I expected more coming in the car. I said, geez, these will really go at it today now and sense maybe a smell of blood. But Crokes have been efficient when they've needed to be.
Crokes keep it going. Costello eyes up the options. Good block down. Comes back to Costello. Looking for O'Rourke. It's intercepted. Good play by Matt McCaffrey.
Matt McCaffrey, another fellow who's tried hard all day, Oisin.
Well, the linesman has indicated something went awry there to Thomas Gleeson.
I think, did he hear somebody calling a thrower?
Not sure what happened. We couldn't hear the conversation, so. Trying to escape really Colin Walsh. That's very good play by Colin Walsh. Harkness.
Deliver it now. He's had the chance to deliver it, but he can't hit it on top of the spare man. Like, that's just, these are all little things that they can look at, because it's just let them down today. They're just decision making there. They have to look inside, and Dowser's inside scratching his head, wondering what's going on. Like,
that's a good take and a good turn. Roach is away. He's already got a goal. Roach might have his eye on another one. He'll settle for a point.
Yeah, probably annoyed to be left out, I'd say. And again, I go back to what I said earlier. The Crokes have such an abundance of talent there. Roach has come in, he's made a huge difference. That's a really good score. Took the man on, you like to see that. And a good score to put them further into the lead again.
McCaffrey scrambling across, trying to get there. Liam Garrigan beaten to it by Kenny. O'Casig. Here's O'Rourke. Has Costello in front of him. Goes to Costello. A miscue. Considine hunting the defender down. Luke Walsh keeps a cool head. Here's Colin Walsh. Crummy back inside to Colin Walsh. Colin Walsh lets one go. Colin Walsh, unfortunately for him, can't keep it on target.
I think what's big for Crokes here today as well, Oisin, is that so far they've got 50 minutes into Alex Considine, who's been ravaged with injury, and that's going to be a huge plus going into a final. While he's being quiet at the same time, it's a huge thing to try and get that game time into him.
Ball soaked up by Bellew. Crummy drives it. And gets a good score.
Great score. A 13-point gap. Lucan doing their best to close it.
Kenny. Cool as you like to O'Reen. Good block down. O'Rourke. O'Rourke, who's a sniper supreme. Misses that one. You can see Crokes are just
going through the motions now, kind of, aren't they? And what they probably need now is a little bit of, give two other lads from the line a bit of a run here now who want to kind of get game time for a final, but that's very lax by Lucan there coming out.
Costello, Whiteley. Point, wide, no. And Whiteley's really frustrated. Smith. He dropped very deep, didn't he, Coffey? Looking for Garrigan, who tries to flick it on, but Kenny is there again.
He's been brilliant all day, young Kenny in the corner.
Yep. Free out. Don't forget, coming up at 4 o'clock, St. Vincent's against Nafina. Nafina, the defending champions. Got to the AIB Leinster Club final last year. They were beaten by O'Loughlin Gales. O'Loughlin Gales in action today. When last we heard, they were leading against Bennett's Bridge in the semi-final in Kilkenny. They're still leading that game. 112 to 11 points is the score. That's brilliantly taken. Well, he couldn't get it on the second attempt, Roach, but made it stick. No one really around him to sweep up the breaks. Crummy looking to intercept his O'Rourke, and he does. Didn't even take it in the hand. O'Rourke still going. Back outside, Brian Hayes. Costello. Costello plants the feet. And doesn't,
and that's why he missed it, Oisín, because you don't plant the feet. Like, you need to keep, and again, a young Purcell out on the right hand side, he could have popped it, but it's a real challenge game Fieldwood now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gone. Couple of changes being made by either team. For Kilmacud, Crokes coming in as Brendan Scanlon. Lucan also making a switch in for them is Donald Flannery. Heading off is Paul Crummy. Tough day.
Yeah, just Paul just hasn't, and again, he just hasn't had the club year I would have expected from him, because he's a really good player, and he's a really good Dublin career ahead of him, but it just hasn't lit for him at all this year, and I don't know whether playing a 10 or 12 suits him either. I prefer him maybe on the inside line.
Free in for Kilmacud Crokes. He's a talented player, there's no doubt about that. He's a good player, Paul Crummy.
Yeah. Just a couple of times today like that, just to improve on again. Their strike into hand needs to improve. They took a lot of ball to stick today, and with a team that's as athletic and as strong as Crokes, they're going to be punished every single time. And a couple of times in the second half, even the ball in, they didn't strike it. It just didn't really cleanly get in, and it's a pity, because look, they're really driving to try and get themselves into a final and to win one. But Crokes now at the moment it looks like they're going to be playing Nafina or Vincent's in the final. I see it's interesting that Vincent's have Ree McBride back today, and Mulcahy as well. So Rena's spent the last couple of long time in Australia, so he had an impact. We'll have to see.
Scanlon not letting his man escape easily. Rigney driving on as Luke Walsh. Sorry, beg your pardon, that's actually John Bellew. They're still working, Lucan, still trying to make it happen. McCaffrey, Dowling, forced into the corner. Garrigan with him, goes inside instead. Just too many purple and gold jerseys there. Here's Costello.
Yeah, and they're just trying to work the goal, aren't they? And they could have taken a score there, but realises that it's no good to them now.
O'Reen is the furthest man forward, so he takes it on and goes for it. O'Reen! I thought he drew it in at the end. The umpire thinks so too, potentially. It will be Gleeson's call. He was at a good angle. Let's have a look. It doesn't count. We know that for certain.
Probably have to see it again there, no call, but it was... I didn't think so, but...
Yeah. I don't think we have to spend too long debating. I don't think it'll make any great difference here today. Colin Walsh. They're trying to work that goal. They're going for it still. It's Harkness. Harkness inside to Colin Walsh. Walsh, he was just surrounded. Free in coming anyway.
That Kilmacud backline, 5, 6 and 7, and full backline, apart from young Kenny, are very big, Oisín, very strong, aren't they? Now, some people are they vulnerable for goals? We haven't seen it yet this year. And one thing Crokes have is an ability to score them. They got 5 the last day too now. Again, Gibbons, great save.
Gibbons with a fantastic save, a fresh air shot from Dowling. The scramble continues. In fairness to Lucan, they're working and they're battling and they're doing their best. They're trying to put some goals on that scoreboard. Free out for Kilmacud Crokes. And a card to follow.
Yeah, it's a dangerous one, just on the arm and the hand. Like in the final, 2 weeks away at Dowser, ball just wasn't there.
Well, I'm not sure where the final will be broadcast, but if RTE or TG Carter don't pick it up, it will be on Dubs TV. Don't forget you can subscribe to the Dublin GA YouTube channel and the games will pop up automatically. Keep an eye out on the Dublin GA social media channels and of course the Dublin GA website.
Do you know what you wouldn't like, Oisin, is the job that Kieran has with Crokes to pick a 15 to start the county final.
Donald Flannery picking up a yellow card.
Serious talent there.
Sorry to cut across you. Donald Flannery picking up a yellow card. Having a go is David Purcell. And he just swings it over. That's right, yeah. Well, Crokes got off to a flyer. They've led pretty much right from the off. Lucan have struggled. Chris Crummy held up by Scanlon. Crummy high and long. Crokes have a numerical advantage back there, but it does fall kindly for Lucan.
Yep.
And it's bundled in.
Just come too late for them. Even when Chris hit the ball there, you'd kind of wonder, had they somebody inside to win it, but it's they needed it at the end of the first half. In fairness, like when you look at the work that Dowser's done all day, and it's they've just not been unlucky. I don't know what the word is. They just hadn't got that same energy and endeavour that they've had. And they were close in some of the games too, where they had the right or luck to get here, but they were really tested by Whitehall as well at times. But I'm sure they'll regroup and they'll realise that to get to that next level, they're going to have to push it another level up again. But today it'll hurt because they'll realise that they just didn't really turn up like they could have.
Yeah. Matt Coogan, by the way, getting the final touch on that one. Dowling, who's been unlucky at times today. Here he is again. Dowling, turning, twisting, needs support, has support. They're not content to just pop over the point, are they? They want goals.
Want to run it though.
Flannery, he will take the point. Well, that was the intention. I was just about to say Dowling was very unlucky. He got the flick away. It was a good strike. Gibbons made a good save, but Flannery followed it in. Matt Coogan followed it in, and he's the one who has got Lucan's goal. Crokes making another switch. Cian Ryan comes in. Heading off, Brendan Kenny.
Yeah, he's definitely one for the future. I really like him. He's a seriously good player. Tenacious, tight, aggressive. Really good striker of the ball too, and loads of athleticism.
What a score that was.
He is one. If they mind him, Oisin, and they know he's a really good player. He's really impressed me today, David Purcell.
Mm-hmm. Back-to-back scores for him. In between, Lucan got their goal. Dowling. Coogan there again. Coogan takes the break. Coffey. Bottled up. And then pickpocketed. Scanlon turns and goes. Scanlon.
Yep, great score.
Good score. Fast puck out, Matt McCaffrey. Too fast, I think. Can't remember too many stoppages in the second half.
No, and Tom only played about 25-30 seconds in the first, so yeah. I'd say he'll be on the M50 now in the next 10 minutes, I'd say.
Scanlon, overcarried, free for Lucan.
Just disappointing, isn't it, as a semi-final? Like we've had a good club championship, some really good games, exciting games, but to lose a semi-final by whatever 12 or 13 is just not what Lucan needed or wanted to do.
Crokes divert that one out as soon as that, well, I was going to say second goal, but the first goal, the O'Reen goal, which made it 117 to 9 points after 38 minutes, that kind of killed the game as a contest. They scored a goal then within another minute or so. That came from Roach. And since then, it's been one way, well, it was one way traffic before that, but since then we knew the destination of the result.
serious athleticism there for Brian Hayes coming through, you know, in the last minute of a game, and he's just at full pelt. Has had a good year for Dublin as well, and somebody who can push on.
Never played county minor or under 20.
I took the words in my mouth. Like for young players that are there, or for players that are in the club system that haven't been given chances yet. Like it's there. You know, if you're showing up with the club, you'll be given chances.
I spoke to Kieran Darling about him. He said he just worked incredibly hard, did his gym work, you know, upped it physically, played well with the senior twos, and got his chance with the senior ones. And well, boy, has he taken it for club and county. Here's Costello. O'Rian.
Oh, didn't strike it really.
No. Fumble by the goalkeeper. Luckily not into the back of the net. Crummy. Bellew trying to get away from O'Rourke, who always wants more scores. Smith. Garrigan got out in front. Garrigan gets the shot away. It's going to drop inside the square. No, it's not. Drops wide. Coogan was held up really well by Sheehy. Just leaned into him. Second game to come. 4 o'clock is the throwing time.
Now,
and it finishes with the whimper, doesn't it? I actually didn't hear the whistle. I just saw Sheehy taking off his helmet. So Kilmacud Crokes win this one 223 to 113. What did you make of it, Joe?
Yeah, just disappointing for Lucan. Didn't really on the day, you know, Kilmacud when they had to looked really, really impressive. You know, if you're in a Fina or Vincent's now, that Kilmacud team is going to take stopping in a final. They really, really are. I'd say they're hurting from last year's final, having the Fina haven't taken it, or from semi-final I should say. But look, Lucan, they did so well to get here, and I know they were on the end of kind of some really, really exciting games, but it just didn't happen for them today. And some of the players for Crokes were seriously impressive. I really like David Purcell. It's great to see Constantine getting game back into him again. You know, he's been out for such a long time, and that's without Quayle and Conway too, who I think is really important to that forward line. Crokes were impressive, Oisin, when they needed to be, and they were only going through the motions for probably 20 minutes of that second half. Lucan got a kind of a consolation goal. The penalty was a big chance, a couple of frees that they missed as well, and then that chance just before half time just took any life of it. But there shouldn't be 12 or 13 points really in a semi-final, having gone the whole way through the year. So I'd say Charlie be very disappointed with today's performance.
It was a 6-point gap at the break, but they did miss that goal chance right at the end of the first half, Lucan. And then at the start of the second half, there was an 8-point gap, and Lucan got that penalty which was saved by Eddie Gibbons, and those were two big moments for Lucan. Right, let's have a look at the highlights of the game. This is obviously far better viewing for Kilmacud Crokes fans than it is for Lucan.
Yeah, and like Crokes started like on fire when the ball was thrown in. Tom threw the ball in. Crokes were really, really impressive. There was one or two moments when the likes of Sean Harkness got a score there. This fella here, like Constantine, has a bucket of talent and loads of ability, but just has been ravaged by injury. That was a great score off his right hand side. Again, Ronan Hayes, when he wants to and when he's on it, he can take that ball in the sky, and he brought other players into it. But Crokes really came out with a real sense of, we're going to put this to bed early, and they really did. And we said that Lucan didn't need it to be. What's surprising is that there's no real celebration. Like, they're going to a county final now, and they're nearly used to being in county finals for the last kind of 4 or 5 years. Whereas if you can imagine what it would have been like for Lucan, or what it will be like for Vincent if they were to get there. But look, all credit to Crokes management. They've got it right. They've got some serious competition for places. They have an absolute dinger in David Purcell. He's a real quality player, and I said that to you before the game started. If he does start, they'll worry about Dara because he didn't see him himself today. But good game overall. Here again, Dowser tried hard, and he went for it there, just bounced out to the side. If they had hit the back of the net, Whiteley was his usual kind of industrious self, kind of a 10. This fella's a flyer. Like, he's loads of ability and really, really quality. Brian Hayes, this was the only real time we saw him in the first half. Got dragged back. Could have been a goal. Really brilliant defending there. But just they got through it like they had to.
Well, try as they might, Lucan just couldn't really ever get near Kilmacud Crokes, but that was a good score by Paul Crummy. Crummy again. And here is the chance that we referenced at the end of the first half. Had that gone in, it was a 3-point gap rather than a 6-point gap at half time. O'Rian started off, Kilmacud Crokes starting brightly with the first 2 scores of the second half.
That was a big call there as well, wasn't it?
Yep.
I could feel for Ben Coffey. He had the goal chance, and again he had the penalty one, and it was a great call by Tom, because that's definitely a penalty, as you can see. But in credit to Gibbons, over to his right, saw where he was going, didn't really hit it in fairness. Like he
But
didn't.
Lenihan getting in the way of the
Yeah.
and throwing his body on the line because Harkness was bearing down on that. Great sidestepping there. Brilliant stuff by David Purcell, who had a great game.
But it was all a little bit too easy for him, Oisin. Do you know?
And here's the first goal. Hayes had the option of Considine, but he went to O'Reen. It was the right
super
call.
finish, yeah. And O'Reen was good today. He got a couple of scores now from midfield as well. You know, he's had a very good year. I think he got 1-2 or whatever today. But again, Constable on the left here could have got it, but a brilliant finish. And I'd say if you're Michael Roach, you're saying, "Geez, I want to start that final now," because he made a big impact when he came in.
Yeah, they were significantly more potent in the second half, which seems strange considering they led by 6 at half time. But I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, Oisin again, his free taking was exemplary. You know, he just has that vision and awareness to bring players in, especially when Conway's not there. But look, the big thing for, like I said, for Kieran and that is who's your best 15 now, and who are the 3 or 4 that you can bring in will make an impact. They have quality players there. Lucan again just won't be happy with how they performed in the semi-final, and it's been the story of the last couple of years for them. Unfortunately, they just don't seem to, when it gets to semi-final stage, they can't find that little bit of luck to get them over the line.
Scanlon came off the bench and tapped over a few scores. So those in purple and gold are happy they're on the way to the final. They know that. What they don't know is who they'll be playing, but they will find out today because the second semi-final is end on day, as was the first one. Extra time and penalties if required. They weren't required for the first game. They may be required for the second game. That's coming up on Dubs TV. Don't forget you can subscribe to the Dublin GA YouTube channel and all these games will pop up automatically. You can also get all the detail on the Dublin GA social media channels and the Dublin GA website. That's it for the moment, but we will be back for St Vincent's against Nafina, so join us for that.